Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a writing VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be hopefully finishing this page. Yeah, I think if this goes for like for like session 5 or something, or session 4, I mean I think we're like on session 4. Okay, that I usually when you say a funny word, is that like an actually funny word, or is it like funny as in like I'm trying to shock you and make you upset kind of funny? Because if it's the latter, you can take a hike. Okay, then keep it to yourself, please and thank you. I've blocked people for less. Anyways, we're working on this page here. Actually, come to think of it, you know what? Why be on? why why risk this shit? Sorry, I tend to have a zero tolerance policy on this kind of thing. So I try to not to like let anything slide. And I feel like you were going to say it anyway, even if I said I didn't want to hear it. Listen, you really shouldn't try to shock people just because you think it might be funny. Wait, did I accidentally put this? Oh, that's the wrong layer. I see. All right, then the challenge here is going to be adding the screen here in such a way that it doesn't create a tangent with this sparkle here. Hmm. No, wait, that doesn't work. I guess it need to be smaller? One thing that I could do, actually, hang on, is make the area here smaller. All right. Yeah, there we go. Usually whenever there's like a weird bumpy line here, it's because there's a corner control points hidden in there somewhere. I don't know, it's always quite odd. I know a lot more about vector line art now than I did like 4 years ago, at which point I don't think I even knew about vector line art. So that comparison might not actually be as useful as I think it is. Hmm. All right, connect vector line. Do I need to like bring these in closer a little bit? Hmm. Okay, connect these two. There we go. Hmm. Let me delete this control point and see what happens. Okay, that should fix the issue of the what do you call tangent there. But this part here, I think we can still do something else with it. I need to simplify this line. No need to process the whole line, just this part here. Something about this still doesn't seem right. If I delete one of the control points, it'll feel better. Yeah, I think that was the trick. Actually, hell, why not get rid of them both? Okay, then erase this. I think maybe if I move this like so. Actually, why not just try... Hang on. Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. Redraw, 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 vector line width. There we go. I could even like spin it around a little more. Maybe not though. We're getting close. It's almost where I need it to be. Okay, now we can probably move on to this next panel here. Oh, yeah. Speaking of funny words, have you guys heard about glamping? Yeah, I mean, I've been camping a couple times in my life, mainly with my family. We'd occasionally go out to like a beach spot, or actually, the main ones that I remember were when we went to the beach. I don't think we ever camped in like a proper forest or anything, right? Like we never camped at a mountain or anything, which was probably for the best. I don't know what kind of wild beasties were in the area where we lived, but I'd rather keep my knowledge of them secondhand rather than firsthand. It's not like we were bike packing or anything, right? We weren't like roughing it. It was quite safe, if a little cramped at times. I mean, I myself occupy. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm rather wide. I occupy like a large surface area, so it was occasionally a little cramped in there. Yeah. However, recently I've learned about glamping, and now I feel like I should show more grace to those memories that I call camping. Maybe they weren't quite as rough as some people's experiences, but maybe I shouldn't be so quick to dismiss them as like easy living. So essentially, glamping is like if camping was more like booking a hotel or like one of them Airbnbs, right? You have your choice of like a tent or a cabin or a tree house, a tiny home, an RV, what have you. It's basically any kind of housing medium that's normally reserved for people who camp and live outside regularly, right? And that they usually come with like amenities. It's not like they usually have like at least electricity, Wi-Fi, sometimes like plumbing even. They can be quite cushy. And you might say, but Pabs, doesn't that seem like it's just like a needlessly complicated way of having a hotel room, except that it's kind of closer to outside? And I would say, yes, it is. In fact, it's so needlessly complicated that on average, you're paying 3% more for like a glamping booking than you would if you were just getting a hotel in the area. And what's more, actual hotels are getting in on it. They're saying that this is like a thing that's starting up, and now they're trying to lease like the area around their campus to like glamp and whatnot and what have you for glamping activity. It's like gentrification squared, even like camping the way that my family and I did it was already kind of like a glamorized version of sleeping outside. Now they've come up with a theme park version of that. I don't know. It just seems kind of unintuitive or strange. It's one of those things that I think I'll just never get. I don't know why my family went camping in the first place. I think I might have had to do with it because I like the idea of camping. I've always been a big fan of like outdoorsy stuff. So weirdly enough, I'm not a very outdoorsy person, but I do like outdoors equipment, camping gear, stuff like that. I really like it for some reason. I don't know. It's just neat to me. Hell, one of my favorite stores at the moment is this what do you call outdoor gear co-op that is in my city that I have a membership card for. To buy from their store, you need to join the co-op. It's like a one-time $25 fee. And once you're in, you can just buy stuff from them, and it's great. They have good stuff. I got like a poncho from them that's pretty warm and snuggly. It's like a wearable blanket. It rocks. I don't know. Ponchos are cool, but I have a hard time. I like ponchos fundamentally as a South American person, but I have a hard time, and I want to incorporate them into designs, but it's hard to make them look cool. The easiest way to do it is to like make them a half body poncho, kind of like how Clint Eastwood it has in The Man with No Name. But then, Bap the Pab. That's like what cats see whenever they want to attack me viciously. Bap the Pab is the fairground is the eventual theme park that I'm going to open. It's that version's it's that thing's version of Whack-A-Mole. If I had had more time for the garage sale auction, I would have made that into one of the side attractions. I like to think of the garage sale auction as my own kind of personal Germa dollhouse stream. Or that one stream where he did like carnival games. Remember how somebody actually managed to knock a bottle off the wall in one of them? And he was just dumbfounded when it actually happened. He genuinely did not believe it was possible, but then somebody did it. I don't know. We say that Germa is funny in an interesting way a lot, but I think what's more interesting is the way that his viewers behave, in that they seem to also have some kind of manner of innate sense of comedic timing. Anyway, I was talking about glamping. What's crazy about glamping is that it also seems to have a historical precedent of all things. There was a hang on. Let me share my screen real quick for the Wikipedia page for glamping. Here we go. The word glamping first appeared in the United Kingdom in 2005 and was added to the Oxford Dictionary in 2016. So this thing has had an almost 10-year history. The word is new, but the concept that glamping connotes, that of luxurious tent living, is not. In the 16th century, the Scottish Earl of Atholl prepared a lavish experience in the Highlands for the visiting King James V and his mother. Here, the Duke pitched lavish tents and filled them with all the provisions of his own home palace. Probably the most extravagant palatial tent living in history was the Field of the Cloth of Gold. A diplomatic summit in 1520 between Francis I of Henry and Henry VIII of England in northern France. Some 2,800 tents and marquees were erected, and fountains ran with red wine. Fountains! Fountains! In a campground! Around the same time, the Ottomans had ostentatious palatial tents, transported from one military mission to the next. Entire teams of artisans traveled with the army to erect and maintain these imperial tents. As described by Professor Nurhan Atasoy, the exquisite ornamentation, both inside and outside of the tents used by the Ottoman sultans, made them imposing dwellings fit for a ruler. I come in, I am attacked by Ottoman. POV, you are the Roman Empire. Or I don't know. I don't know who the Ottomans had beef with. I think pretty much everybody. I don't recall correctly. On ceremonial occasions, tents serve to create a splendid theatrical setting, as we see vividly portrayed in miniature paintings depicting banquets, audiences, and celebrations which took place in the imperial tent complex over the centuries. The imperial tents were richly decorated as if they were pavilions, and often had designs resembling tiled panels, usually in floral patterns, either in appliqué work using cloth of different colors, or embroidered in various stitches using silk and metal thread. Holy shit. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It's crazy that nowadays a dude from the Ottoman Empire times would be comfortable in the Marriott glamping section. You would take him there and he'd be like, oh man, this is just like we used to have back home. Like, bro would be thrilled. Hang on. I kind of want to make it more obvious that the lever is being pushed downward. Action lines can help a little bit, but I kind of want to do something with the actual lever itself. Come on, move. There we go. You know, sometimes I see this one meme of what appears to be a dude in a ninja mask, seemingly poking something with a stick and being like, come on, do something. And usually it's like a brand or a studio or whatever that the viewer is hoping will actually, that the person who made the meme is hoping will like spring into action, either because a competitor or something has recently done something. I see it a lot more in fighting games for some reason. But then again, I see a lot of fighting game memes compared to, like, say, Fortnite memes, right? So it might just be a matter of my own sample size. You know, correlation rather than causation. Gonna take a quick sip of water. I am attacked by a powerful thirst. I don't know. Sometimes you get like mad thirsty. Like sometimes it's weird because you'll want to drink a lot of water, but you will have you're not actually you're like you want to drink so much water that your actual capacity to hold water in your stomach is exceeded. Has that ever happened to you? Like, have you ever had such a strong urge to drink water that you like almost like fill yourself up on it? I do know that water poisoning is a real thing. It's not wise to mess around with that sort of thing. There used to be this one delinquent manga I used to read called Rokudenashi Blues. And it was pretty interesting because a lot of it was just like delinquent fighting, but a lot of it was this one dude's journey of trying to become a genuine boxer in the midst of all of this. Like the main character was this punk kid who, for some reason, ended up taking up boxing. I don't even remember why he took up boxing, but he did. And his power ups throughout the series are just him beginning to understand different what do you call boxing moves. It also did teach me the correct way to do an uppercut, which they described as trying to pick like you need to move as if though you're picking up a penny off the sidewalk. So it's almost like this, and then you move it upward. It was a very effective visualization tool. Where is the rest of this thumb? Oh yeah. Anyway, I brought up Roku Danashi Blues because at one point this guy wanted to fight somebody above his weight category in a boxing match. So what he ended up doing is that he ended up overeating for like a month, and even on the day of, because he just couldn't keep on the weight, he actually had to drink like 4 liters of water just to make the cut. He ended up throwing up almost immediately afterwards. It was kind of grody. But a pretty realistic depiction of what happens if you try to drink water that quickly. So yeah, just try not to be in situations where you need to drink like a ton of water at once, and you should be fine. Okay. God. Bunny talking about being attacked by the Ottoman Empire. This one is for the Roman Empire, but I keep remembering this one Doge meme of what it must have been like for the first Roman soldier to encounter a war elephant. And and it's just like this Doge looking at an elephant being like, "What on Mars is that?" That, or it was like, "On Mars, what the fuck is that thing?" This reminds me, makes me think that his hate game was so strong for this one dude. His hate game was so strong for this one dude. Like how recently Kendrick Lamar and Drake apparently had a diss battle, and Kendrick came out with this song that's basically, "Your hair, whack. Your shoes, whack. Everything about you, whack." I saw that being shared around by people who aren't even that into rap, and and I knew that was gonna be like like a live execution. Gee, like it was like I listened to Euphoria the other day, and it was like a fucking 5 minute long. It was like watching a toddler try to fight a bulldozer. It was like trying to watch an ant fight a lion. Like, Jesus Christ. Bro said you suck so much that I have to elucidate it in rhymed sequence. But yeah, no, Euphoria is crazy. It's such a good song, and it's so interesting because it almost has like different parts because the way that it switches the kind of melody in the background. I'm very impressed by it. God, yeah. I talk a lot about hater Hall of Fame moments. I feel like this like transcends being a hater. This is almost like a tribulation from the heavens. I saw TikTok memifying like Drake reacting like, "Oh, another beat change? Great heavens!" That wasn't Drake. That was like my reaction. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the third time in the song he's changed the beat. This man is a maniac." Really good song. Okay, then move this one over here. Bro said, "Great heavens." I think on like one or two occasions I have said like "heavens above," but not "great heavens." I feel like I just cuss normally if it comes to that kind of degree of shock. Okay, then move this over here. Then over here. It's weird. I feel like it's been a good while since we've seen rappers have like this kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not. I don't keep up to date super a whole lot with rap music, but it feels like it's been a while since we've had like a feud like this. You know, may this is a shot in the arm that these two needed. Although from what I hear, Kendrick Lamar is insanely talented. I mean, so is Drake, but listen, I'm pretty sure Drake as an entity no longer exists after that song. He plugged in his headphones, hit play, and was erased from existence. Like after the song ended, his music player closed and it opened up for a PDF of a job application. Okay, then bring this over here. Erase this, and this. Okay, and now we can just round out the inside knuckles in here. Maybe we can raise this one up a little bit. There we go. Man, I can't wait to learn how to make music because then I can actually figure out how impressive a beat change like that is. Like it sounded impressive, but I want to know just how unhinged it is. Hmm. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spin the little sparkle here just a little bit more. And hopefully that way we might be able to... There we go. And then lower it a little bit just so it doesn't intersect with any other parts below. Maybe shrink it a little bit even. I feel like I'm giving like bop it commands. Shrink it. Transform it. Rotate it. I remember being a total wash at bop it. I remember not being particularly good at it. I don't know. What does make you good at games like Simon Says and Bop It and whatnot? I guess it's like memorization skills, right? Or short-term recall. How difficult is that to pull off? Do we have the other thing of the ship around here? No? Okay. Hmm. Okay, here's what let's do. I'm going to do similar to what I did in page 13, where I'm going to use a radial line ruler. And then I'm going to transform it a little bit once we have everything we need. It's just me, or is this circle kind of ovalish? It's looking a little ovalish. It's slightly ovalish. Well, whatever. I'm sure this will only simplify the process of making it the shape I want it to be. Okay, we just need to snip these off here and there. Let's just get rid of this one and replace it with a new one. Actually, wouldn't it be easier to just keep replacing them a little bit? Like little by little and then just evening them out? That might be the move, actually. Okay, put this in this direction, put this in that direction. Yeah. Actually, hang on. Maybe if I did... Oh, wait, hang on. I've got a great idea. All right, let's take this from the top. Okay, and let's try and put this kind of in the middle here. Okay, and then make this big. All right, there we go. If I just generally follow this, it should more or less be even. Okay, erase this. All right, let's see how this works. Kinda. It sort of works. Or actually, you know what it might be good for? Almost like a sonic boom. Why? Hang on. Some of these that doesn't seem right. Okay, there we go. Adjust line width, scale it up a little bit, and then scale it down. Local style. And that way we can just kind of manually create a bigger hole for the ship to pass through while it does the sonic boom. And actually, hang on, if we want to take it a step further, we might be able to use the curved surface tool. Oh, we can't use that on a vector layer, huh? Alright, mesh transformation it is. Let me just reduce these. Okay, and then over here. And maybe we can just add a few more lines here to fill in the gap. There we go. Yeah, this thing's going to be a straight up purple blur. Okay, maybe we add the Miltonia here. Jetpack, spaceship Miltona, here we go. It's quite an odd looking object, isn't it? I want to use the word nave, but I forgot. I think that just translates to vessel or craft. I don't know if there's like a one-to-one translation for the exact sentiment I want to capture. The great thing about this is that of making so many different little lines is that I can just move them up a little bit if I want to make an upwards curve. Okay, then over here. I got an idea for these ones here on the bottom, actually. Actually, let me simplify these suckers too. Okay, don't smooth the corner, don't simplify them too much, and process the whole line. That should more or less get me the result that I want. For the most part. Suggest me are some of these barely visible now. Hang on. Okay, redraw line width, or isn't there one that's like adjust line width and it can just set them all to 1? Yeah, here we go. This is exactly what I needed. Make it like 6. No, that's too thick. 3? 3 seems decent. But then it loses like the sharpness of it. Screw it. I'll just redo it. Spending way too much time looking for shortcuts here. Wait a minute, I could be using a diagonal line. What the hell am I doing? Parallel line, bam, bam, bam. Yeah. There we go. It's crazy how I can sometimes remember things like this. Let me just hang on. Let's just take this from the top. Okay. Okay. Hang on, I better do some wrist stretches before I take this on. Make sure I'm nice and loose. I do know that at times like this, it's important to draw with your shoulder rather than with your wrist or your elbow. That's one of those art pieces that I try to internalize a little bit. I think I can draw from the shoulder consciously, but sometimes I do switch back to my wrist. Okay, then keep on going like this. Remembering that the right ruler exists for the exact thing that you're trying to do is like the straightest shot of dopamine you can ask for. It's just such a wonderful feeling. That being said, I need to rework some of these lines. Excuse me. Okay, then over here, that's going to go like that. Okay, so if I slightly move the ruler now, like just a couple of degrees more towards here, and I adjust the line so that they also match the ruler, is that gonna work? Am I allowed to do that? Just asking real quick. Yeah, it's close enough. Okay, and over here. I honestly really like cross hatching. I guess this isn't really cross hatching, just hatching stuff out like this. I don't know. There's something very peaceful about it that I really enjoy. It's like popping bubble wrap almost to give you the most approximate emotion that I can think of. Hmm. How long has it been since I popped some good bubble wrap? I remember actually purchasing a little bit of bubble wrap, but not too long ago because I needed to wrap something up and preserve it properly. I bought this one vinyl wood print of a scene from Howl's Moving Castle that I ended up giving to my brother and his fiance, or his wife actually. I think they ended up liking it quite a bit. I don't know. I know that they like Studio Ghibli stuff, so usually I just try to go for that. I need to be more up to date with their interests because otherwise I'm gonna be that one guy who ends up like gifting them Studio Ghibli stuff until they're like 60, and they're gonna be like, "We don't actually like this anymore. It was like a phase. It lasted like max 5 months. You made it into our whole personalities." It's gonna be like that. Okay, I need to stop fucking around with like erasing this part because obviously it's not working. I mean, I don't know. As far as home decor stuff goes, Studio Ghibli stuff ain't that bad. You could certainly be doing worse. Okay, then over there. Oh, yeah. I hear that apparently, in Ecuador we didn't used to have too many of these kinds of places, but from what I understand, there is like an arcade site in the U.S. called Dave and Buster's, and from what I hear, they've introduced a new feature to their app, which I find rather fascinating. Apparently, now they're letting you money match people on the game in their like games through the app. Like you could say, you could tell your buddy, like, "Hey man, I bet you $5 I won't make this skee ball shot," and now you can just do that. You don't even need to exchange physical cash. You can just do it through the app. God, I cannot wait for the blood to be spilled. Like this is going to incite violence. Make no mistake about that. This is going to cause fucking problems. God. But I am saying we should give it a chance. I'm saying let's hear them out. Like, yes, gambling is bad. Yes, this could lead to all kinds of violent altercations. But I'm saying we just hear them out just for a little bit. I want to see where they're going with this. Okay. All right. Now let's remove the ruler for a short amount of time. Decrease the opacity on this, on the reference that we have, and try to clean some of this stuff up. So, for example, this part here. This part here can probably be simplified a little bit. Okay. This one can probably be shortened a little bit. See, now I might have overdone it here at the bottom. That's what I think. Let's turn the ruler back on just real quick. These lines too. Let's try to rework these a little bit. Okay. Take the ruler back out. Okay, now how's it looking? Pretty decent. I think maybe just a few lines here along the side. The ruler isn't on right now, is it? I've been making lines like a fool. Come on, turn back on. There we go. Okay. Now then, let me just grab the sonic boom a little bit. I want to edit it just a touch before we keep moving. Mainly to make it wider in this direction, because I feel like that feels more right. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab some water. Alright, I'm back and I have more water. Let's do this thing. I almost want to do this on a different layer just in case. I really don't want to mess up the ship. I might also make some kind of flash behind the ship during the coloring stage. Okay. Something about the way this curve is sitting isn't sitting right with me. Okay, simplifying vector line, process whole line. Oh, that's a bit too strong. All right, let's try one step below that. All right, let's try one step above that. Okay. Let's not accidentally grab some of the lines here. I want to thin out the edges of this too. Oh wait, I can just increase the amount that it narrows the line by. Hang on. There we go. And we can scale up the width for some of these parts here. Okay, what's it look like before I did all that junk? This is the one bad part about doing a whole lot of line thinning work, is that you don't really... Oh, hang on. How much farther back can we go? It pisses me off a little bit, but it looks better like this. God damn it. Okay. And over here. I think I know what else is bugging me about it. The fact that some of these lines shouldn't exist. There we go. If this was a sonic boom, it would be intercepted by the actual approach of the ship. I say as if that's like an actual... This is like an actual physics problem that can be resolved. Yeah. I don't know. I do think that you can't take the science in your setting too seriously. I think, like the thing is, right? There's a difference between gonna make these lines regret existing. Yeah. Some people tend to their lines with the caring and doting demeanor of a pastor to his flock. I tend to them with the gentle, caring demeanor of a sledgehammer to a particularly disobedient railway spike. My ministrations are rather ungentle. I will admit to this. Okay, then over here, and then shrink this. Redraw line width. Okay, adjust line width, narrow it down towards the end here for these two. Make them finish in more or less the same part. Okay, then we're gonna give it like a ring of the cloud here. Okay. How do I make it more obvious that this is supposed to be like a normal cloud? Trying to figure out how to make the movement of the ship more impactful. Like the smear, the kind of smear frame thing that I've got going on with it already is kind of great. But I feel like it doesn't provide the right kind of impact that I'm looking for. Although I guess realistically speaking, it would look a lot, if the ship just suddenly went from 0 to escape velocity, it would look a whole lot like it just stopped existing in the place where it was. Probably because also realistically, the force of it would have just like ripped whatever material the ship was made of apart. Assuming it wasn't some kind of like weird vibranium, unobtainium, what have you, alloy. Okay. Move these up just a touch. I think removing these backlines might help a little bit, actually. Yeah, okay, now it just looks like a solid pillar of light. Perfect, actually. Let me redraw the line width of some of these two lines too. This is the wrong layer for that. Actually, maybe it's a little bit of a conundrum because the farther away I put the star, the more I feel like I have to like point these lines, and the more natural it's going to look. But that might just be my own nitpickiness. Yeah, like that looks fine. All right, I think that's fine for page 14. That means we're on to page 15, the very last one. Very exciting. I do this page, and then I just got to go back and do page 12, 13, 14, 15, and this one's colors, and that means we're pretty much golden. So close. I'm like a snake flicking its tongue out into the air. I can I can taste it. You know, usually when I give an analogy like that, I'm missing the correct limb to do that. But no, the mouth is pretty much the only thing I have going for me. I don't know. Maybe that's why it's such a gross analogy. I don't know. The analogy felt a little gross. Okay, right over here. Right over here. There we go. And like I said, thankfully, these three panels are pretty much going to borrow the assets from this panel here. So that's going to be hopefully less work on my end. But I guess that we'll have to see about that. I don't know. Usually I feel like I get a little bit optimistic about how much work I actually have to do. There we go. Those seem pretty much evenly spaced. Come to think of it, I don't think we ever established what water looks like on this planet. I thought about making it a pale purple dot because of the grass that I used to put it with, but I guess it doesn't really jive, does it? Hang on. Did I make this look? Hang on. What did Namek and DBZ look like? Did it also have purple grass? Okay, no. Namek had blue grass and green water. Alright, hang on. So then going by that logic, if you'll excuse me. Alright. So this is the beautiful planet of Namek. So going by that logic, if we color shifted this grass to a nice purple, the water would be blue. God damn it! Why? Alright, hang on. Maybe there's like some kind of method to this madness. Alright, so green. The sky is also green. Alright, so if it's purple, then that means the water should be orange. Sure, okay. Works for me. I don't give a fuck. It's not like we're gonna have Neil deGrasse Tyson up our ass about the ecology and what color of the water might be on this planet. At least I hope not. Just line width, simplify vector line. Every single thing that I do to the circle just makes it look less like a circle and more like some kind of lumpy, misshapen donut hole. It's rather strange. Maybe if I just kind of rearrange these lines to make something approximating a circle, nobody will be any of the wiser. This looks a little bit like that one. There's like this education. I want to call it education, like this sort of. There's this like cram school called Kumon, which has a logo like this. Yeah, this one. It reminded me a little bit of the logo of that one. Somebody joked that the reason that the Kumon symbol isn't smiling is because nobody likes being there. I don't know. I never had to go to cram schools or, extra tutoring outside of my educational level during my life. So I don't know what they're like, but I've heard they're kind of hellish. I'm gonna give the thing like one single. I'm gonna make it like a rice piece shaped satellite. Because again, who's going to stop? Wait, no, actually, that doesn't make any sense. Because actually, you know what would stop me? The gravitic forces. The thing is that past a certain amount of mass, I think the planet just kind of naturally becomes a ball-like shape, just because of the way that it's spinning and whatnot. But the thing is that because of the way it's spinning, it's almost never a perfect sphere. It's spherical, but very often it's just kind of like egg-shaped. So, not a perfect sphere for sure. But it's close enough to a perfect sphere that it's basically unnoticeable. Like, for most intents and purposes, you can just make it a sphere. Come to think of it, didn't NASA? I remember that during the eclipse, NASA wanted to recruit citizen scientists to use their phones to take a video of the solar eclipse, and using that data, they had a special app to gather the video data, and using that video data, they would create like guess the width of the like they would get like very precise dimensions of the sun. I think that's kind of how it went. Did we ever get back to that? Like, did they ever get back to us about that? Do we know exactly how spherical the sun is now? Do we have the sun's exact bust, waist, and hip measurements? Is that information that we're privy to? Or is that classified for some reason? LA, yep. Actually, hang on. Maybe we do have that information. NASA Sun Spotter app. Or Sun Sketcher. Okay, let's see. First used during the April 8th, 2024 total solar eclipse. We are now counting down to the next total solar eclipse on August 12th, 2026. Mass participation will generate an incredible database of images that, when analyzed together, could allow scientists to map the sun. Okay. How does it work? Latest from Sun Sketcher in Texas, that's from 2023. Sun Sketcher supported by NASA. Okay, they have a Twitter page. Okay, nope, the most recent one is from April 3rd. They have been radio silent on the results of the data gathered from the most recent solar eclipse. That's a bit of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to know the exact shape of the sun. Like, what if the sun is actually shaped like an entire clown head, like the default monkey head from Blender, and we just never noticed because we're not allowed to look at it for too long? What about that, huh? We could be missing out on knowledge of that possibility right now just because NASA isn't locked in. Actually, forget NASA. I'm worried about the theological implications the default monkey blender sun theory might hold. Listen, if the cosmos are anything like navigating Blender, then we're cooked. Even I've gotten a rudimentary understanding of it, and I'm pretty sure I'm still just towing the shallow end of the pool. But, well, so it goes. I'm sure even if they have plenty of data, it takes a while to actually compile it. The eclipse wasn't that long ago, and I'm sure they have plenty of other pressing projects to take care of. Being a member of NASA does sound like pretty busy work. I guess I shouldn't begrudge them too much. But I am expecting it someday. We need like an IOU from NASA, RE the sun's shape. I'm not gonna let this go. Not to mention total radio silence. That's pretty weird, all things considered. Like, you'd think they'd even give like a thank you post to everybody who used the app, although maybe the thank you is in the app itself, and that's why they didn't bother to tweet it out publicly. That, or for some godforsaken reason, Twitter just suspended the account ownership. But even if that's the case, then they'd still be able to post something. The account itself would say like, "Oh, this account has been suspended for violation of Twitter's policy or X's policies or whatever." I don't know. Current Twitter leadership is dumb enough that I think that could happen. I need somebody to very patiently and not without laughing explain to me why we can't just launch garbage into the sun. I mean, granted, probably a lot of the stuff that we do need to throw out is just better used, recycled here on Earth rather than hurled into the fiery orb that we call our mother star. But is there? But like, besides that, is there a reason we shouldn't? Like, is that going to cause a sun flare or something, and then we'll just have a real bad time, or is it just like sympathy for the garbage? And also, I guess we can't make a rocket that actually sends stuff to the sun just yet. That might also be, it might also be an issue of logistics. I could understand that. But assuming it were feasible, could we not just launch a giant ball of trash into the sun? I don't think that happened in Wall-E, but I feel like it's pretty close. God, Wall-E, what a great movie. Okay, then over here. Switch this around, then over here. Very good. Let's connect these two lines here so they form a smoother variation. Add a little box up here. I really like the top turbine the most. It's the one that looks the least like a turbine, but it reminds me a lot of like a megaphone, and that makes me really fond of it. I don't know. Megaphones are just one of those really quintessential objects that I feel don't get enough appreciation. If you show someone a megaphone, pretty much everyone can guess more or less what that's supposed to do. Yeah, megaphones and air horns, I feel like, are the two kind of instantly recognizable as obnoxiously loud objects in the universe. Like, if you looked at a jet turbine, you could be like, oh, wow, that thing's big, but you wouldn't necessarily think it's loud. You would think it's maybe like a household fan or something level of loud. But you look at like a vuvuzela or a air horn or a, what do you call, megaphone, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, that thing is loud. I don't know. There's a few objects which I think we really nailed the iconicism isn't the right word. The design of, the form of, I guess would be the best way to put it. And I do feel like megaphones and air horns are one of those too. Are among those vaunted ranks. Also, I might need to go back to that other page and add the Miltonia sticker eventually, but that's something I can worry about later. Okay, I see how it is. Okay, let's test our thesis if the ability to carry over some stuff from the other couple pages is going to work. That's this panel here. All right, so we want this one and this one. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Mostly, kind of, a little bit, debatably. Okay, here's what let's do. This one we scale up. And we pretty it up wherever we need to. Or actually... Alright, TBA on this one. We will, however, need the chair, which I think is attached to Hawk. Mostly, yeah, okay. We can go back and fix that too. That's fine. Alright, grab these. I'm still really proud of the little Kermit heads that I put above a Hawk's head. Those do amuse me. Alright, let's see if I can Smithsonian style recreate the remains of this chair using just my brain. How hard could it be to make a space age Herman Miller? Although I guess we are currently in the space age, aren't we? So I guess that's just a normal Herman Miller. But I guess that also means that recreating it wouldn't be very difficult at all. In fact, it should be kind of trivial. Alright, connect vector lines. Hold on, that doesn't seem right. Let me just redraw this part. That did nothing. Okay, let's try this. Nice. Okay, then over here. Nice. Although I might make the bottom part of the cushion here just a tiny bit bigger, because then it can cover the seat more reliably. We also need to get rid of this huge hand back here. The one Phineas and Ferb bit I will never forget. Huge hands Hans. Why did they make that guy build like that? Like the whole bit is that Huge Hands was like was able to make like massive shadow puppetry because of the aforementioned gigantic hands. But what happened to him afterwards? Did we ever find out? Like, was there like some kind of high school reunion episode for Doofenshmirtz where he was able to see what became of Huge hands, and he's now a successful piano player or a professional shadow caster or something? Professional shadow caster actually sounds like a pretty cool job title. Shadowcaster sounds like the sort of job title you would see in a video game. Shadowcaster sounds like the name that they would give to the local Fantasy Kingdom's version of ninja. Shadowcaster Money Gang, we love casting spells. Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Taken from us too soon, I feel. Locked out of the public consciousness for far too brief, for far briefer than I expected it to last. Did the guy who made that ever make anything else, or was it kind of like a one-hit wonder kind of deal? Probably nobody paid attention after Shadow Wizard Money Gang. That's sadly the case for a lot of big creators. Is that either they hang on, either they manage to get one big hit, but it's like their only viral hit, and so they kind of everybody says like, oh, they fell off because it's not more of the same, or they do keep making viral hits, but at the cost of something deeply human, I feel. I don't know. That's kind of why I in myself never want to go viral, is because people are going to follow me for like one specific thing, and I'm very quickly going to prove that my whole thing is being a multi-trick doofus. Well, life is tough no matter how you slice it, huh? Although if you capitalize on it successfully, you can reap some major benefits. There are some people who have the means and the brains to do that, but I don't feel like I'm one of them. I remember one time I made a somewhat viral post from that one episode of Witch from Mercury, where this pink-haired girl boxes the hell out of another girl and knocks her out in one punch. And I made like a very small analysis of the punch, and it got a lot of traction. And at the time, I was only like, "Oh my god, I need to push this onto somebody else." So that's what I did. I didn't promote myself. I literally just went like, all right, who is like the best person I need to find somebody that I can like deflect this onto. Thankfully there was another VTuber, Valterra, who is still active. You should check out her channel. And she was great. She was thankfully like, yeah, sure, you can send them over my way. Oh my god. I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't have been such a bad existence if I just kept doing funny analysis of different punches in anime. But I don't know. Some of the quote retweets got kind of mean towards me, so I just like muted the post forever. It should be a nerd by now. Witch from Mercury stopped airing ages ago, and I think the only place that post still gets traction sometimes is Tumblr. And let's be real, posts never die on that stupid ass website. That thing makes tardigrades out of jokes. A joke post fortune Tumblr will last you several generations. It's like some kind of fucked up family heirloom. I have got to get my shit together and make more of my Blue Sky account. I've heard good things about the engagement that you can get on stuff like Blue Sky and whatnot. So I ended up making an account, particularly when it seemed like Twitter was for real going to go belly up. But I haven't done much with it. I did one dumb bit with a friend of mine, Jackie, and that was about it. I mean, that's really all you need. But yeah, the other main reason that I don't want to have to juggle Blue Sky is because I hate juggling more than two websites already. Like, I just use my Tumblr and I use my Twitter, and that's it. That's all I've ever needed. That's all I've ever known. That's all I'll ever need to know. All right, there we go. The dashboard has been redrawn to fit. That is so valid. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like people who manage multiple social medias have to develop like a tertiary brain gland. Okay, let's see. Oh shoot! Did I forget to add the seats on this? Well, I guess they wouldn't be visible from this perspective. But yeah, I think this place is supposed to have seats. I'm gonna take a quick sip of water. I did look into solutions for cross-posting across multiple sites, but none of them were particularly satisfactory to me. All of them seem to prioritize one side or the other, and that's exactly the opposite of what I want to do. Okay, let's switch this one around like so. Okay. Ditto this one here. We can just flip it around a touch. Save. And now it's kind of bugging me. I kind of do think we should be able to see the seats, but we really shouldn't. I don't think it's going to be a problem if I just don't include them in page 14. All right, let's put a ratio back here. Such a funny face. Okay, then this one over here. Okay, then that's going to go like this. Okay, that's 2 forefingers. And a little claws. I remember reading a few early chapters. I haven't really kept up with My Hero Academia since like a long time ago, like probably over 3 years by now. I still get ads for it every now and again, but one of the parts of it that I remember very vividly is the one dude whose power was like super speed, ending up splattered against the wall, looking like the Running Man sign from an exit signpost. That was such a good bit. Honestly, that was a pretty great bit. All right. All right, settle down here and all right. Perfect. Okay. And then we got the old Slappy over here. Man, I'm telling you, if dragons were real and one of them tried to greet humanity, I could not be trusted to not slap that thing's tail. Same goes for like if I ever meet an alligator, I would try to smack its fat tail for real. It's kind of like when people get the urge to pet the fuzzy ears on a bear, or give a tiger belly scratches or whatnot. Like obviously, everything about it is such an awful idea that it shouldn't even need to be mentioned how bad of an idea it is. But hear me out. It looks so soft. All right, we're gonna need to put this guy like way up. Make him a tiny bit bigger, and put him a little bit way up over here. All right, then erase this part, this part. Which one of these is supposed to be the side that's still intact? The one on the left? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah. Today I did end up going to work at the office after all. I didn't work from home today. And it was quite lunchtime was a rather surreal experience because of the fact that I usually get myself like a chocolate muffin or something from the place where I usually get lunch. You know, in addition to whatever sandwich wrap or whatever I get myself, right? And this time around, they were out of muffins. But I noticed like some kind of odd brick-ish confectionery on the counter next to the banana bread. And I asked the person attending the counter, "Yeah, what is that?" And she said, "That's an energy bar. You should try it. It's good." So I thought about it for a bit. It looked just like some kind of granola bar looking thing, kind of squishy looking, with some chocolate drizzled on top. So I was like, "How bad could it be?" So I was like, "Oh, all right, put that on my order. I'll ring me up." I take the energy bar with me. I finish my sandwich. I start digging into the energy bar, and I notice that there was more to the energy bar than met the eye. First of all, it was loaded with way more seeds than I had expected. In fact, I'm pretty sure every kind of seed that I could name and more was in this bar. And this bar had chia seed, it had fucking flaxseed seed, it had pumpkin seed, it had sunflower seed. This shit, this shit could have been a granary. I was eating an entire silo. Also, texture. Surprisingly, not that bad for texture. Very incoherent. Although I did feel a bunch of this chia seeds get stuck in my permanent retainer afterwards, which was an unpleasant experience. Thankfully, they washed out pretty easily with some water. But what was truly offensive to me is that amidst all the seeds, for some reason, they also had added raisins. Now, here's the thing about me. I don't mind raisin oatmeal cookies. I don't mind raisin in cookies. But adding both raisins and chocolate to a cookie is a fucked up thing to do. I'm sorry, but you are fucked in the head if you do that. It is not right. If you need to do one or the other, it is like two sweet components with like completely different types of sweet. I mean, like chocolate obviously has like the chocolatey taste, and it has kind of like a more fatty, sugary taste. But like the raisin has like a fruit sugary taste because it's a fucking dried grape. So that was what stood out to me the most. Just why would you do that? Why would you ever do that? So I have strong opinions on that, but otherwise, yeah, pretty decent. I mean, I like the seeds actually. I do enjoy a nice bit of seed texture in my foods. I enjoy the nutty taste of it. And the meal I used to make for myself was that I would crush a few peanuts and add those, as well as what do you call the that stuff that you dump on rice, furikake. I would add that as well as furikake to a bowl of rice, and that would be meals. You know, for a couple for an emergency. Okay, we need to move this somewhere over here. And we can put the gun like right here. Okay, move this like this, move this over here. Reduce the line width of this. May do a little bit of transformation on this sucker. Okay. Then adjust line width, scale down width on this one here. Just a few more around where our ratio is. Dude's looking a bit too thick lined for what we need him for. And actually, I almost don't want to decrease the line width on a ratio. I kind of want to scale up the width on the jetpack a little bit. I tried clipping the protein bar from hell, but I'm on mobile. Do your best. If it's not possible, I'll go back and clip it for you. Okay, then over here. I think the only thing left to draw on this panel would probably be Hawk. I might need to apply some extreme perspective on the, or change up the perspective on this on the lever here. But I think that should do it for today. I mean, we finished page 14 pretty great, and now we are starting strong on page 15. Obviously, we now have the whole situation with the background figured out. This face still kills me. Yeah. I can't wait to like draw that one for real. But I think that's going to be it for today. All right. Is anybody else streaming right now? Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Via is doing some fighting game video learning. She's watching some fighting game tutorials. Let's go say hi to her. All right. In the meantime, I will be back tomorrow with some more comic work. We might finish the line art before the end of the week, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that's more power to us. All right. Catch you later. Bye.